So quick little video, well, maybe not. You know how I do. If you lot see my live streams and that, during my live streams, I might hit the hour and a half, 2 hour mark, and I'll say to the man, right, I'm coming off in 10 minutes, and those live streams have turned out to be a 4, almost 5 hour live streams. No word of a lie, my brother. But subscriber request video, a man asked me in the comment section, I think it was last night, how did I get into property? Can you do a video on it? So I said, yeah, no problem. Now, obviously, man spoke about this many times before, innit? Yeah, but I'm going to give you a little bit more updated information and that. So when I was 17, I was currently doing my electrical installation course to become an electrician. And I remember I was chilling with one of the man them, and he first brought this idea to me about property development and that. You know, buy a house that's ran down, that needs work, fix it up, and then put it on the market and sell it for a profit, obviously. So, obviously, we're being young men at the time and just talking about ideas and that, and it's pretty much waffle. And I know it was waffle because this person now is 30, 31, whatever. He don't have no fucking properties in it yet. So I know it was waffle at the time, innit? Yeah, it would, at least respectfully, it was speculation, yeah. For me, it turned into reality when I was talking and contributing to this conversation and that. But for him, it was just speculation, if not waffle back then. So that was when I was 17. Obviously, got mixed up in a lot of foolishness and that. Dropped out of college, dropped out electrical installation studies, went to jail, come out, got the apprenticeship and that. Once I got qualified, but even during my apprenticeship and that, man was on a little idiot, £800 a month, able to save a couple £100 and that. But once I got qualified, I got put on to 1,800 a month, 1,800 a month. My outgoings in that rose to about £800 a month, but I was able to save about £1,000 a month. So some months it wouldn't be £1,000, some months it would be 800, some months it would be 1,200 because I might do a little bit of private work on the side. But for the most part, I was saving £1,000 a month, and I could say for the most part £10,000 per year. Over a 3-year period, I was able to save about 30 grand. I remember when man hit that little threshold there of 30 grand, I felt like that fucking man, blood. So I'm not gonna 100% sure say that, or 100% say that, yeah, I had buying a property in mind. Yeah, long-term goal, but I didn't know I was gonna buy a property so soon. And do you know what? I gotta give it to my brethren. Big up my brethren Benga. He was the person that inspired me to buy a property. He had a property up here in Northampton, and one time he took me from down Edmonton and that, and we went up to Northampton to do some little work quickly in it. I think I needed to fix the pool cord for the shower or something like that. And yeah, I thought like, yeah, man, this would be a good idea to buy a property. So that was in approximately, I would say, the summer of 2016. Because November 2016, I started looking for properties. I actually came up here to look for a property and that. Now, the reason why I picked Northampton is because I was looking at Milton Keynes. Because obviously, you got to understand, man's got a certain budget and that. Although I've got 30 grand in savings and that, it doesn't mean that I can afford a property that's worth 300,000. Yeah, the property is worth 300,000. You put down a 10% deposit, which is 30 grand, which I have. But you still need to be able to afford the mortgage. What was the mortgage? 270 grand. In order to afford a mortgage of 270,000, your current salary, your yearly salary, you need to multiply that times 4.5 or by 5 in some cases and that. If you times your salary by 4.5 or 5 times and it don't equate to 270, then you can't afford that mortgage, yeah? So although I had the 10% deposit for a 300,000 property that I wouldn't have been able to borrow 270 because I wasn't earning enough. Now, just doing quick maths and that, in order for me to be able to borrow about 270, I'd need to be on at like, I don't know, like 50 grand or something like that. And I weren't on about 50 grand. I was only on about 30 grand. 28, 30 grand once I qualified and that. So I couldn't afford it. So anyway, man was looking at Milton Keynes and that, and I could afford a property for about 140. My budget was about 140. The property needed to be worth 140 for me to be able to afford it once I put down the deposit and see how much I can borrow on that. Looking at my wages. So I could afford a property that was worth 140 in Milton Keynes, which is about 50 miles from London. But I could only buy a flat in Milton Keynes for 140. If I wanted to buy a house in Milton Keynes at the time, it probably would have costed me about 200 grand. And again, I had enough deposit, but I didn't have enough. I weren't earning enough. My salary wasn't enough for me to borrow on that. So I had to go. I thought to myself, I don't want to buy a flat. I want to buy a house. So I thought, all right, where can I go next? Well, what you do is you keep going up further north and that. So I decided to look in Northampton, and yeah, I see a few properties in that was within my budget. So I decided to go out to Northampton in November of 2016, started looking, came to this house. I booked about 7 viewings on the day. This was number 5. I viewed the property, went and viewed 2 other properties, didn't like them, and then yeah, submitted an offer at that. The offer got accepted after a few weeks. And yeah, the rest is basically history. Obviously, man's completed on this property in February of 2017. And years later, man's bought my second property, which is around the corner. That's a flat. And then around the corner from there, I bought another flat. And yeah, at the moment, I'm currently looking to buy a next flat and that. So stay tuned for that. So that's basically how man got into the property thing. Yeah, I prepared myself. Yeah, so first of all, I got a good job, good high pay, decent paying salary and that. I saved my money. I prepared to buy a property and that. When the time was right, I found the property, I bought it. So yeah, my brother Benga is the one that inspired me to get on the property ladder and that. And big him up. And if I'm being honest, if I'm being 100% completely honest, my brother Benga's the only one of my brethrens that I wouldn't mind trading places with. The rest of the man them, no, I don't want to trade places with them. See, certain man will watch this right now and get angry, blood. Do something about it, fam. Doing something about it doesn't mean come blam me in my head or rub me out. Doing something about it means become the best version of yourself. Be the guy that your brethren aspire to be like. Be the sort of guy that your brethren would think, you know what? If I had to trade places with them, I'll be all right. Don't be the guy that your brethren will think, he's a cool guy, he's a nice guy, you get me, he's a loyal brethren, whatever it is. But you know what? I wouldn't want to trade places with him. Be the guy that your brethren wouldn't mind being in another life, blood. See, man will get angry and that. But man would rather get angry because it's easier to be angry at me when I make these videos and talk hella trueness and that, than put in the fucking work to become a man of value and become a man of substance, blood. We're all from the same place, blood. So therefore, if one of us gets to a certain destination, if we're all from the same place, if we're all from the same beginning, humble beginnings, remember that. If one of us gets to a certain destination, then we all can achieve that, blood. Yeah, the pathway might be different, but the destination is still the same, blood. Man will rather get angry when man, you get me, talk certain talks and that. Because they know they're not willing to do it. They know they're not willing to put in the fucking work, fam. I know, man. Doing little, what's man doing little gas engineering on the side and that of his full-time job and that. And I said to him, man, blood, like, when are you going to start college and that? Yeah, I'm starting college then. Check back with a man in 8 months' time. When you starting college? Yeah, I'm starting college then. We'll see. I guarantee you a man's not going to start college. Because a man will rather just do the practical work and that, because people are lazy. Man will always rather do practical than put in the fucking work, pen to paper, study and that, blood. Because when you're studying and that, you don't feel like you're achieving anything. Whereas when you're working, you're on the job, you're learning and you're getting paid. Even if you're getting paid a little bit, you're still getting paid. You don't feel like you're getting paid when you're studying and that. So there's a lot of wafflers around. There's people, they're cool people and that, but I wouldn't want to trade places with them, fam. Be the guy that your brethren want to aspire to be like, fam. Anyway, man, that's it. So yeah, that's how I got onto the property ladder and that. Obviously, spoke about it one of my bridges beforehand, whatever, when I was 17. Obviously started electrical course, and well, I was doing electrical course at the time, and it bought my first property when I was 24 in 2017. Got my next property when I was, I think, yeah, probably 28, and then yeah, 29 or no, 30 and that. And you know what? I'm built for this thing as well. Literally, obviously, I'm an electrician and that, so man, I understand construction. I do up all the properties myself as well. I don't call no one in. The only time I'll call someone in is a gas engineer to obviously do the gas safety certificate and that, because you need to be qualified. This is not like laying tiles or, you know, painting or nothing like that. Yeah, this is a serious thing, innit? So you need someone who knows what they're doing. You need someone that has the equipment to do tests and checks and that. So Like the great man Alan Sugar said, stick to what you know. I know construction, I know electrical and that. So being in the property game is perfect for me. I'm built to be a landlord as well. Just my personality and that, my directness and that. I don't beat around the bush. My directness and that. I'm perfect to be a landlord. I've never had no one in the potentially, let's say about 6 years, let's say about a good 4 years of being a landlord. Nobody has not paid rent, fam. Everyone has paid their rent on time, blood. I was chatting to one tenant, and she was like to me, "Oh, you seem to be quite lucky then with like having good tenants and that." Because I know a guy, he has a couple of properties and that, and his tenants are always messing around with paying rent. And I'm thinking, no, it's not because I'm lucky or anything like that. I guarantee you, this guy is soft. When he invites people over for a viewing, he doesn't tell them, if you fail to pay the rent, I'll serve you a notice and you have to leave. That's an awkwardness for him. I don't give a fuck. Even if it's an awkwardness for me, I don't give a fuck, blood. I tell the tenants over the phone, let's say I've got a room that I'm renting out for 450. I'll tell them I need 450 plus another 450 as a deposit. I say to them, on the phone, I say to them, my friend, if you do not have £900, 450 plus 450, if you don't have £900 to give, don't even come for the viewing. I have people lock off the phone on me. I don't give a fuck, blood. This is the way you gotta be, blood. Yeah, out of 10 people, you might lose 4 of them with your quote-unquote stank attitude. Do you know what? I'd rather have a stank attitude and an empty room that is stale than a room that is occupied by someone that they ain't fucking paying rent, blood, because that's a big violation. So I don't give a fuck, fam. I'll have 10 people, I might scare away 5 of them. Yeah, fuck them, blood. But funny enough, luckily enough, I might scare away 2 of them that were gonna be taking the piss, blood. Trust me, I met people. Family member, oh, yeah, I'm like 3 months behind on my rent and that. I'm thinking, you would never have been my tenant to begin with, fam. Then if that did happen, I'd kick your ass out, blood. Never had no one not pay rent. I've had one person pay rent 1 day late just because they forgot. They hadn't set up a standing order or nothing like that. I remember when I first got this property and I had one boy called Ellum, one tall you. He was like 6'6". He was a little weed anyway, man. Yeah, he's harmless, innit? But anyway, I just remember because he was so tall. He was going on holiday in August. So like in June or July, he paid me for August and September. He didn't want no complications. He didn't want to forget about paying rent because he was on holiday or something like that. He paid me 2 months in advance because he didn't want no smoke, fam. I've never raised my voice, never raised a hand to none of my tenants. It's about your demeanor, it's about your aura. You have to be a certain way if you're going to be a landlord. If you're afraid of confrontation and you're not a direct person, you're going to struggle being a landlord that deals with the tenants themselves. You may as well just get an estate agent. Yeah? Anyway, man, that's it. That's how I got into the property team. I'll make further videos in the future about property and that. Stay tuned, stay wise, done now.